All right, hey guys. All right, so I remember, a while back, online dating was just like people thought of it as something for losers. Even living in a country that was not really into online dating, we still knew that persons perceived online dating as something for losers. Interestingly enough, trying to remember. Oh, by the way, I do online dating. Okay, if you're wondering, I'm trying to remember if I started it before COVID or during COVID. I can't remember. But anyway, I started online dating, and you know, I met some good and not so good women. You know, uh, I think it's not really a true representation of your true self, but um, I think I can't say for the men, but I know for myself, I've presented a good enough profile, and every now and again I go on a platform, I'll optimize the profile to ensure that I present my best self, right? Um, to be honest, I don't know if women just create these profiles just leave them like that, because a lot of times the content on the profile is lacking, very much so. But what I really want to talk about is the issue I'm seeing that really is robbing women of be presenting their best selves. They are not allowing us as men to see the best of them. So let's start. Ah, based on what is presented, and well, mind you, let me backtrack a bit. Okay, even though Tinder is said to be um, a hookup site, uh, any site can be a hookup site. What I've noticed is it's predominantly focused on looks, so that's Tinder. Bumble, my issue with that is, well, I see good quality women on there, but uh, they're like career women who really don't want a relationship, but they're on the platform for some reason. Now, there are some invaders I've seen of in the last few years. Like, they're just like low quality women, but they go on the platform just the same. But most of these women I've seen are career women, feminists. In fact, the whole design of the platform says feminist all the way through. The woman starts the conversation. That's some feminist crap, right? Um, okay, Cupid, good platform. I will say I when I was on it, it was like I was on there for fun, to be honest. Meaning, I I answered those questions because they were fun. In fact, it had me thinking about myself and examining my thoughts and my actions, past actions or potential actions, or what I really thought about, um, you know, the qualities I looked for and so on. So I actually had fun being on that platform because of the questions and how I was able to present myself. Lots more options than just photos. Oh, oh, tired. All right, last video, and then um, all right, let's just leave it there. But I'm going to give some general statements, but I have found that Tinder is sort of more widely accepted, and a number of these points may apply to other platforms, but think about Tinder, right? So what I've noticed is most of these women tend to be party girls. How they dress like sluts. They are all, if they're even going to dinner, how they dress like they're going to a party. A lot of their pictures are them at parties. Now, I'm going to drop some stuff in here that may not be on my list, but I may have observed of late. Like, for instance, women are taking pictures, and it's like they took these pictures not to present themselves to men, but to present where they went. That doesn't impress us, ladies. You are trying to be a man there. You know, men may try and impress women by the things they do, the things they own, or the places they've gone. That does not impress us. So showing, like having a big, um, like a picture, and it's big, and then you're like this teeny weeny person on it because you're trying to show everywhere else but yourself. That's just stupid. Show us you. You are what we want to see. I don't know, but they keep doing it. I don't know. All right. Oh, single mothers and women who want to be admired. I did these notes like a long time ago. Some of these thoughts I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember what my thought was at the time, but yeah, single mothers and women want to be admired. You know, um, they will they will use these sites to get admiration, but not necessarily to get a date or get a relationship. They just want, like, I remember talking to some women, and the amount of likes they got, the amount of men who wanted to date them or have a conversation, they prided themselves. Oh, I have 100 and so on men who liked me. I remember I met a girl one time on a dating site, and we were talking, and then we were discussing our experiences on the sites. This At this time we were actually dating, and she was like, "Oh, I had 100 and whatever." I was like, and then I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she was asking me how much I had. I was like, "Oh, about 50 something." And I don't remember what she said, but I said, "Well, as a woman, you will be the pursued. So naturally, even the most attractive man will not get as much likes as um, an average woman. So even that as some sort of rubric for how attractive you are isn't fair, isn't a sensible thing. But a lot of women do use these platforms just to be admired. They really don't want a date, you know. Oh, and then this one, no, that I found so many of. I mean, and it's just such a shame that it's many times some very women I find attractive. They are promoting a business or promoting an Instagram profile. They really don't want a date. They just want to get you off the platform, to get you on their Instagram page so you can follow them. Because and many times these are even private pages, but they'll put the info there for you to request. This is even kind of narcissistic. You want people to follow you, but you make the profile private. You know? Yeah. Women like the business ones. Those are the worst because they they'll have the conversation with you. Some of them will within a very short period of time start talking about, oh, do you want this, and do you buy this, and do you use these, you know and then when I ask, and here's the lie, I call this a lie because really they aren't honest about it. When I ask them, I normally ask them, are you on this platform to promote your business or to pursue a relationship? And they say both. But the truth is, they aren't there to pursue a relationship. They're there to promote a business. Like so many of them, I'm speaking to them. I'm like, all right, we're having a conversation. You could say, all right, I'm not interested. You don't have the qualities I see, which really, if you're on a platform and you're talking with somebody who's reasonably attractive, you might want to go out with them and see really if they are not what you're looking for. Or tell them that, you're really just there to promote your business, you know, but don't say both because most times it's neither. I remember there's this one woman, she was using it to promote her business, and she had her number on it, and I messaged her, and we're talking off the platform now, and she would not even say, like, the conversation was going in such a weird way that I didn't even get to a point where I felt comfortable asking her out because of how the conversations were going. Like, they were just so stretched out. I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Based on her I mean, she was very receptive and so on, but based on how our conversations were going, her intention was just to promote her business. You know, and then interestingly enough, like, some time would pass, maybe a year or so, and then I'd see her update her profile, and I realize, yeah, definitely just promoting her business. She has no real intent of a relationship. That's just some lie. That's why I said that, like, her brain says both, but her heart says business. Business is what's important to her. All right. The woman I consider ugly or unattractive tend to make themselves ugly with tattoos, multiple visible multiple visible chest, arm, legs, and piercings. Okay, let me pause right there. Yeah. Now, I think I phrased this in a way that says the women I consider ugly or unattractive, because there are women that I would consider unattractive, but that's just how they look. And I'm not attracted to how they look. But here's the thing: there's a huge amount of women on platforms that perhaps are beautiful, but when uh, you're going to disfigure yourself by putting on tattoos, that just makes you look ugly. Like, you could be beautiful, but you're branding yourself. You know, that's how they used to punish slaves back in the day. Like, you disobeyed, we branded you with a hot iron. And then this tattoo thing is almost like branding. It's just that it's ink being inserted, but it's actually disfiguring yourself. Why would you want to disfigure yourself? That's just crazy. I don't know. Multiple tattoos. Yeah, you know, it like, there was a time when you could say, "Oh, she has a little tattoo on her wrist. That's so cute." Or like, you watch Rush Hour 2, and there's like, "Oh, she has Snoopy on her above her butt," and it's like, "Oh, that's cute." No, no, no. I'm not talking that. Even though I prefer a woman that's all natural, but not even that. I'm talking all her chest is just tattoos, or big tattoos on her leg from her thigh going all the way down to her knee. I'm like, this is just crazy. Like, in fact, it's not even a one tattoo. No, it would be like an entire arm tattooed, or from her shoulder all the way down to her elbow. That's just ugly. You have made yourself ugly by disfiguring yourself with tattoos. That is crazy. And then the piercings. No, I understand. You're, for whatever weird reasons, you're doing these piercings. No, if you're piercing your ears, no problem. But then you pierce your ears, then you go piercing here, piercing here, piercing here, and it's like, all right, three, all right. Perhaps I can overlook that, which I actually don't like. But then you'll go vroom, vroom. I'm like, that is crazy. And then they put two here sometimes, and then it's not like a knob. It's like the actual rings. You look like a cow. Because when I was growing up, that's what they used to do. Put rings in cow noses. And I see women doing it. And then I see women doing it here, and then doing it here, and then doing it here. It just looks ugly. And then you're doing it here. And I'm like, are you, I think that some of them put it in here. It doesn't look good. Well, I can say, as a traditional man, it doesn't look good to me. It looks gross. So that's just my opinion. The dude that will like these things, stop complaining when it doesn't work out. You are being stupid because that's the type of man you are attracting. Don't expect a traditional man to want you when you are non-traditional. All these different things, it's just it's just crazy, you know. uh, it's highly unattractive. Oh, and then these ones are probably even maybe even worse. Yeah, I think they're probably worse. The ones that take pictures for dating profiles and they don't even wash their face nor comb their hair. Is there any other thing you can do? Face not washed, hair not combed. Yeah, those are basic um grooming practices. Just comb your hair. Just take a brush or a comb and comb out your hair and let it look neat. And there are women, multiple women, who are not doing this. They're like, obviously, if you just wash the oil off your face, I think I have some oil on my face.